For your next trip, take care of every single detail with a Google Maps mashup. Today on Call for Help.
We're also going to talk about, as you said, Google Map mashups, or mapshups. I just coined a new term, mapshups. Mike Pegg is here to talk about them. This is really cool. You know, we've played with a Frapper map, which is a mashup, but now there's a whole bunch of new stuff.
Oh, there's lots of them.
Yeah, Mike is somebody who keeps track of all this?
Yeah, he has a great blog where he talks about all the latest mashups, so that's kind of a good place to go if you're interested. There's always new ones coming out.
Yeah, there are.
If you've got a knack for using the web to research travel and other interesting locations, why not harness the power of Google Maps mashups to plan your next trip, create a customized online guidebook, showcase your travel adventures, and map your photos? Today we're going to get a lesson from the master of Google Maps mashups, Mike Pegg. He's here with a great demo of how you can use Google Maps creatively when it comes to your next destination. How you doing, Mike?
I'm good.
Good. So first of all, you got to tell us what Google Maps is.
Well, Google Maps is sort of a mapping application, web-based, that's on a website, so you don't have to download any programs. And it basically lets you do all the things that you do in, say, a MapQuest program. Look up an address, street maps, that sort of thing. But what they've done is they've gone a bit further and they've added satellite data for the entire world.
So this is a lot better than what people probably used to use when they're using mapping programs like MapQuest or other programs. It's really a lot more extensive.
Absolutely. And it allows you to get an actual bird's eye view of a specific location. So in terms of travel, it's great.
So it's not just from getting from point A to point B to be able to find a restaurant or something like that. You can actually use it to research your next trip?
Yeah, and really explore. Before you go, while you go, and even after, to show sort of where you've been, too.
Okay, so why don't you show us how it works?
Sure. I'll start just with Google Maps itself for people that haven't seen it. The really great part, as I mentioned, is that you've got three layers to it. You've got map, which is the street mapping. So if we just kind of zoom in, you can see some of the street level detail. And then the other layer is actually satellite, and that's where it gets really cool for different locations that you're going to travel to. I'll just give you an example. I'll just punch up Niagara Falls.
Okay. So these are actually satellite pictures that are being taken by Google all the time and constantly are refreshed?
Not constantly refreshed. That's one of the issues with it, is that the data might be, in some cases, a little bit old. So if you're looking up your home, for example, you might notice something that's out of place, and you'll be able to actually time when it was taken, but they're not up to the minute satellite images by any stretch.
But for Niagara Falls, it doesn't really matter.
It doesn't change that much,
right?
It hasn't changed. Yeah. So I'll zoom into Niagara Falls itself. It
cool.
really gives you a really neat view of attractions that maybe you're seeing on the ground. This allows you to really fly over it and look right into it. So this is a great example to see, like, if you're going to go to Niagara Falls, you're going to be able to, when you go and take your pictures, you're going to be kind of standing around with all these people are located right here. And then you can actually just look at, there's the water going over it, and it just gives you a completely different perspective on certain world locations.
Yeah, I guess, because instead of getting a view where it's just like you're looking at a picture of the falls, you're looking at something that's really kind of flat, what you're doing is you're getting a top-down view of the entire space.
Absolutely.
So you get a sense of how big the space might be.
Yep. I'll go to one more location just to kind of show some of the satellite imagery.
I see like the satellite portion of this.
I love it, and really this is one of the coolest parts of the satellite imagery, or of Google Maps, I should say, is just allowing you to get that bird's eye view.
And I noticed also what they're doing with some of these satellite maps as well is that they're actually putting advertisement on top of buildings, so that when people are looking at these satellite maps, for instance, I know Target does this, that you can zoom in and you can see the big Target ad on top of the building. So that's kind of cool as well.
It's something that I think was something that were put on roofs in terms of flight paths where they're near airports. And suddenly Google Maps is highlighting those. So I think in the next maybe 2 to 3 years, we're going to see a whole wave of new of those new advertisements on top of rooftops. There's actually companies being formed to specialize in that.
Cool.
So, yeah, it's kind of
okay, so you're looking at your next trip. We obviously could go on forever about the satellite maps. So you're going on your next trip. Are there other ways that you can use it besides just being able to see the satellite view?
Definitely. There's a site that actually takes Google Maps and it mashes up or combines with Wikipedia, so the online encyclopedia program. And basically what it's called is called Placeopedia. And Placeopedia basically allows you to search for a location just like we've done in Google Maps. And then what it does is it will link to Wikipedia articles that are near that place geographically.
So you can also get some text and some context for what's going on in that area.
Exactly. So I've done a search for Paris as an example, and it's set on maps, so we're just going to switch to satellite. And you can see that we're now looking at an aerial view, a satellite view of Paris. And you can click on some of these pins that are around. In Champ de Mars, you can actually click off to the Wikipedia article on that. So this is great if you're about to go into a city, any city in the world, enter it into Placeopedia, and then link off to articles that will allow you to learn a little bit more about locations near where you're going.
Very cool. So what about a couple of other things? Because I know you had talked before, you wanted to mention about weather, also about transit. So there's other things built in terms of other mashups?
Yeah. Actually, one more that I did want to visit was a site called Luxury Down Under. And this is great if you're booking with a travel agent and they're telling you the resort is right on the beach. Okay. Well, Google Maps will allow you to verify that.
Oh, that is awesome.
And check on it. So let's use an example. I'm using a site called Luxury Down Under, and it's a resort website in Australia.
Great. We have lots of viewers in Australia, as I'm sure you know.
Absolutely, yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to check out the Sunshine Coast, very popular destination in Oz, and we're going to click on the Novotel Twin Waters Resort. So this, if we zoom into it, we can see an actual really good satellite view of the resort, and we can see if in fact that resort is located right on the beach. So you can see the water, you can see the beach, and then you can see some tree cover, road, and then the resort. So if they said you're right on the beach, that wouldn't be true. So you can actually scope out where you're going a little bit.
That's really handy because I don't know, it's happened to me a lot where you're booking vacations, you book a hotel, it says it's right by the beach, and then all of a sudden all you're looking at is a building and you have a 10 or 15 minute walk to the beach.
Absolutely. So a little bit of detective work to find it, but in the end you can actually see where you're going. There's actually a really cool site. This gets more into the actual mashups that people have created surrounding travel. But this is one of my favorite new mashups that have come along, not just in terms of travel. And what they've done is they've mashed up Google Maps with Google Video. Okay, so they've taken some world locations and they've linked video for that location. So we're going to take the Sydney Opera House as an example, and when you click on that, it's going to load up somebody's randomly uploaded video of the Sydney Opera House right into that location.
That is awesome. So what's this site called?
It's called Virtual Tourism, and it's used in a blog space, so it's virtualtourism.blogspot.com. And they've got tons of locations around the world that you can look at. The Forbidden City, you'll click on it, you'll see the satellite image, click on the pin, and boom, you've got a video of that location. So you can really explore and see people's trip videos.
So these are videos that people have uploaded to Google Video, but what about the idea of maybe webcams? Because I know that's something that's really popular these days as well.
Yeah, webcams, there's actually one, I'll show you a site called WeatherBonk, and what they've done is they've combined weather for certain world locations with actual webcams. There's a few sites out there that have webcams, but WeatherBonk will kind of give you both. It'll give you the weather reports for where you're going as well as some webcams. So these sort of transparent pins, when they load up, you can see webcams for that location. So there's Nice, France. This is a location in, I believe, Portugal. Nope, that's in Africa. In the States, we've got Austin, Texas, and waiting for it to load up. So you can actually, WeatherBonk is another Google Maps mashup that combines weather with various webcam locations.
That's really cool.
World,
probably handy for people who are into surfing or other sports or the recreation that requires that the weather is really good so they can see the webcam on the beach immediately.
There's actually a surf Google Maps mashup. There's about 900 mashups, so I'm trying to remember the address
Mike, we don't
offhand,
have time. I'm sorry. We don't have time, but we'll have you back for sure.
Cool.
Thanks, Mike. Mike Pegg is the producer behind the popular Google Maps Mania blog, which has been chronicling the rise of Google Maps mashups and has been featured in the New York Times. Find it online at gmapsmania.com to get a list of the links Mike mentioned today, or visit our show notes at callforhelptv.com.